In 2010, the Sunshine Policy, created by former South Korean President Kim Dae-jung in 1998 to keep the peace between North and South Korea, officially failed. Now, South Korea could be in danger because of a new collaboration between Russia and its biggest enemy, North Korea. How and why are they in danger? Let's find out. South Korea, North Korea, and Russia are neighbors. Well, at least they are on the world map. But who says you have to be friends just because you're neighbors? The North Korea-Russia border, according to the official Russian definition, consists of 17.3 kilometers, or 10.7 miles of terrestrial border, and 22.1 kilometers, or 12 nautical miles of maritime border. It's the shortest of the international borders of Russia. On the other hand, the South Korean-North Korean border is called the Military Demarcation Line, or MDL, or the Armistice Line. They call each other's side of the line the Korean Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, and the line covers roughly 248 kilometers squared. But enough geography for a minute. How are the three countries actually connected? To understand that, we need to move away from geography and do a little history on a major historical event called the Korean War. But before we dive full into the war, here's a little breakdown of how the three countries became connected. Well, South Korea and North Korea used to be just Korea, one unified country, before things got cold between them during the Cold War and they split. The Korean War was part of the Cold War, and when Russia was still part of the Soviet Union, it supported North Korea during the Korean War. Of course, Russia did not directly fight in the war. It just provided material and medical services, as well as Soviet pilots and aircraft, most notably MiG-15 fighter jets, to support the North Korean and Chinese forces against the South Koreans and the United Nations military aid. Let's just say the two countries have been friends since then. If you think that's a stretch, there's a building called the Korea-Russia House of Friendship and a Korea-Russia Friendship Bridge to mark the relationship between the two countries. And you could say that a lot of their friendship activities have been about fighting South Korea. Now let's take a proper look at the Korean War. The Korean War started on June 25, 1950, when some 75,000 soldiers from the North Korean People's Army invaded the South Korean side of the 38th parallel, which is the boundary between North and South Korea. This invasion was the first military action that started the Cold War. North Korea was supported by China, and of course, the Soviet Union, while South Korea was supported by the United States and the United Nations. The war lasted for about 3 years with no clear winner, and was officially ended on the 27th of July, 1953, when the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed. But if you think the armistice is what's keeping the peace, you're wrong. That would be something called the Sunshine Policy. The Sunshine Policy was a policy aimed at encouraging interaction and economic assistance between the two countries. It was drafted in 1998 by the then South Korean President Kim Dae-jung, who later got a Nobel Peace Prize for that. The policy had three basic principles. No military provocation from the North will be accepted. The South will not attempt to annex or occupy the North in any way. And the South will seek peace and mutual partnership with the North. And it worked, at least until 2008, when the opposition party took over from Kim Dae-jung's party. The South Korean Unification Ministry in November 2010 officially declared the Sunshine Policy a failure and brought it to an end. Before we go on, if you're enjoying this video so far, please like and subscribe. Thanks. Now back to the video. Since the end of the Sunshine Policy, relations between the two countries have been strained, but the North has not been able to do much in terms of aggression because of its weak economy. However, North Korea's economy has picked up this year, thanks to Russia, of course. Russia has been buying weapons from their North Korean friends in its fight against Ukraine, and this new arrangement is boosting North Korea's economy. Reports have shown that since August 2023, North Korea has made 10 weapons transfers of an estimated 1 million shells in Russia, according to South Korea's National Intelligence Service. Other reports, citing U.S. satellite images, have also suggested North Korea has also delivered ballistic missiles to Russia's military. Of course, both North Korea and Russia have denied the transfers. According to the White House's Senior Director for Arms Control, Pranay Vadi, what we're seeing between Russia and North Korea is an unprecedented level of cooperation in the military sphere. The two countries have been great friends in the past, but it seems they're getting even friendlier. North Korean weapons delivery is helping Russia in its war on Ukraine, and the money from the sales as well as the Russian support is making North Korea and Kim Jongun, the supreme leader of North Korea, a little bit bolder, and maybe ready for a fresh round of attacks on South Korea. That's what analysts think at least, and there are signs pointing to it. Kim Jongun held a rubber stamp parliament in Pyongyang sometime last year, and there he declared that North Korea is abandoning its long-standing goal of a peaceful unification with its rival, South Korea. But that's not all. The Supreme Leader also ordered that North Korea's constitution be rewritten, and South Korea should be included in it as its most hostile foreign adversary. He didn't stop there, though. He even went on to accuse South Korea of being top-class stooges to the United States of America. But right before the end of that meeting, he made a clear threat that he would use his nukes to annihilate South Korea if provoked. Kim Jong-un does not seem to be playing around, and political analysts agree. They say Kim Jong-un might be trying to attempt a fresh round of hostilities between his country and South Korea. And some analysts are saying this new round of hostilities might be coming soon. But South Korea is not also just folding its arms waiting for an attack. They've been carefully following Kim Jong-un's statements and moves. South Korean politicians have also promised a ferocious response to whatever Kim Jong-un is bringing. In fact, some of South Korea's politicians are surprisingly unimpressed by Kim Jong-un's words. For Margie Kim, it would be suicidal for Kim Jong-un to attack the South. Even the regular citizens of South Korea don't think Kim Jong-un could be serious with planning an attack on South Korea. According to Kim, a resident of Seoul, "I heard it over and over, and so I can't take his threat seriously." Truth be told, Kim Jong-un has always said he would destroy the South, but he's not made any significant moves for a long time. And when it comes to going to war against the South, there are many factors that might be an obstacle to Kim Jong-un's vision. For example, its military and weapons are no match for South Korea's. Besides, Kim Jong-un may not be able to afford the war, even with his newfound source of arms money. North Korea also lacks the food and oil reserves it would need to fight. While some of this may be true, someone has said we're no longer dealing with North Korea in isolation. We're now dealing with North Korea in partnership with the Russians. The Russian factor involved in this war already gives North Korea a big boost. However, the Russians are still busy with Ukraine. Could they offer help? Never mind that. Kim Jong-un has ramped up North Korea's military arsenal since he took power. In the past decade, he's tested over 224 ballistic missile tests. Only 16 were tested between 1997 and 2011. Research by the Institute for Science and International Security has also shown that North Korea now has enough fissile material for up to 63 nuclear devices and almost 1,000 long-range artillery pieces trained on Seoul alone. While it's true that North Korea has more military equipment and manpower, much of North Korea's equipment is older, from the Soviet era, and can't compare to South Korea's more sophisticated gear. And if that fails, South Korea has a friend too, the USA, which is probably the greatest military force currently. Kim Jong-un better keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed watching it. Click on the next video to enjoy more videos like this one.